Thank you so much for having us here, and it's really nice to visit our friends here from Cyber Media. I've been partners for quite a while, been in the same ecosystem for over 10 years, and thanks to Wiesbaden for this fantastic weather, right? All right, so my name is Tommy. I'm the co-founder and the CEO of our product company. We build products. We also have a services company, but I'll focus on the products today. With me I have Zihni, who's one of our solution engineers, working with customers, deploying and optimizing our tools for their business processes. Few words on who we are. We're based in Sweden. We have a couple of offices there that deliver services just like Sabre Media does here in Germany. We've been around for quite a while, delivering tons of different assignments. 5 years ago, me and my fellow co-founder Matthias identified an opportunity to create products for the Atlassian suite, add-ons as you know them. I will share with you today on why we did it, how we did it, and how it can help our customers become even more efficient with the Atlassian suite. We have around 2,400 customers all around the globe. And we also have a development center in Montreal. And today, just for you, I can share with you that we're also opening up in Germany. All right, it's going to be in Berlin in just a month. So we're growing. We want to be where our customers are. But without, students be talking about me or us that much, I'm going to dive directly into the topic that is on my presentation about enterprise service management. What is that? If you Google it, you will find tons of different definitions or attempts for definitions. But why don't turn to Wikipedia? They're pretty good actually in this. ESM is a means of extending service management across an entire organization. And it's spun often from IT service management. Integrated view of core business service processes. Okay? So entire organization, business processes. Okay. How did that compare to ITSM? Well, we all recognize the old silos. I've been doing consultancy work for 20 years in large and medium-sized companies, and this is what I keep on meeting when I'm out there. We have a bunch of divisions, departments, business areas. They are providing, or should provide, services for the entire organization. The one silo that comes to furthest when it comes to enabling this service management is within IT. Why is that? When I take a look at marketing services, HR, facilities, security, all kind of different verticals or departments within an organization, there are still a couple of those places where Excel is used, where email, where walk-up requests and emails are used everywhere. Why is it that IT has come further than anyone else? I would say it's depending on the framework of ITIL. I'll mention that later on. But before I do that, I want to highlight the Forrester research report that came out now 2018. This is the first Forrester Wave report focused on ESM, Enterprise Service Management. It's really interesting read. It's downloadable, you can search for it, you'll find it. So they took a look at the different vendors, the different tool vendors within this space, targeting ESM. And what did they find? They find a bunch of different vendors and tools that are prominent within the ITSM space. Okay? A couple of those you already know, right? BMC, ServiceNow, Cherwell, and these guys. They have a clear ITSM message in their pitch. And we have our friends. I'm happy to see, super happy to see that Atlassian is the owner of the strongest strategy within this space. That's super interesting. Diving a little bit deeper into this report, Forrester found that those vendors have different strengths. Some of them are good in ITSM, some are not, some are good in non-IT offerings, strong CMDB, some have not, and so on. They also found that there is no one unicorn. No one has it all. Different tools has different strengths. No rocket science. If we go one step further into this research, The conceptual architecture around ESM, according to Forrester's findings, has 3 layers. One aggregation layer, which acts as a more or less like a service shop, where you have your personas, different customers, different end users want to call off these enterprise services. Normally you have a portal, some sort of UI that makes, we saw one of the UIs earlier with Jira Service Desk, where you can request certain services. We have an integration layer that connects the demand with the supply, where we design process or workflows, business processes to be able to match the demand with the supply. We also, of course, have identity and entitlement management, different kind of escalation routines and stuff. Then comes this final layer, and that's the fulfillment layer, where the supply is. Where is all the foundational data, the logic, the external services coming into this mix? Service as a foundation for enabling those enterprise services. Those can be strategic digital services, or workflow, normal workflow-based services, or external services of any kind. But not only, this is a conceptual architecture, and this is fairly new. I mean, if you try to backtrack the definition of ESM, you probably won't find much earlier than 2015. So people are still trying to define and sort this out, how everything fits together. Taking what's one step further, Forrester also found that ESM encapsulate or cover the entire digital pipeline, meaning that it's also a big part of the DevOps process workflow. Meaning that our internal source digital services are also a part of it, as well as the workflow services and external services. So ESM is a big piece of the pie. Especially for medium and large enterprises, this can involve thousands of people and hundreds or thousands of services. Okay. That's a lot. Okay. Why don't we start from the beginning? So, customer services has been around since 3000 before Christ, right? In 1857 something, Bell patented the phone, things got better. We started to really grow in customer services and service management. Today, we're somewhere here. I don't know if this is allowed. Is this allowed in Wiesbaden yet? All right. In Stockholm, where I come from, the entire streets are covered by those. They're everywhere. So those are small scooters, electric scooters. You have your own iPhone app or whatever it is, you unlock it, you put it on, and you pay $1, and then you can ride. You can leave it wherever you want, and at night they come pick it up, load it, and ship it out for the next day. Hundreds of them everywhere. They are now investigated if they should be allowed or not. It's environmentally friendly, you might think, but how long of a lifetime does a public available scooter has where people are using or abusing it? This is one example of a service that has been provided to community since the demand was identified. Those are popular. Don't get me wrong, I use them. It's perfect. Instead of taking a taxi, if I should only run 2 kilometers, I take one of those if I don't want to walk. Cost almost nothing. So services has become an we've been bombarded with services in our lives. Same goes here. These guys, they totally changed the way we used to work with hotel bookings. Now we live inside of other people's homes. That service goes pretty well, right? People like that concept. Another one changed the way that we used to rent videos, or I'm as old as those movie boxes that I went to the gas station to rent with the VHS tapes. All those great companies provide us with new services based on the demand that the market shows. How come that it looks like this behind the scenes at those some large enterprises? So I want to talk about IT services, because if we're going to understand this, we need to start with the most prominent or most insightful silo of them all, and that's IT. I also want to tell you a story about Steve. So Steve is our dream employee. He's one of those hard ones to find. He's somewhere in the world. We need to get him onboarded. What happens when we have the need? So first of all, we need to search for him, right? We need to find this guy. He can be anywhere in the world. We need to advertise the ad to get the word out, right? So Steve understands that he should apply for the job. We need to do an interview with him. We need to sign a contract with him. He needs to get a manager somewhere in our organization. He needs health benefits and social security plans and everything in place. We need to get a lot more information about his travel preferences. He needs to start time reporting, salaries, his bank account, and so on and so on. Once we get that, we need to get him geared up. He needs to get his computers, his chairs, tables, offices, everything. And not only that, he also needs a place to stay where he can relax, where he can know his path, where he can find his way through the career, and he needs to be trained, certified, and so on and so on. This is only one person. This is Steve. He needs this, right? To be welcome in the office and to excel as an employee. But what happens in the background when we do these kind of processes? Which silos are we actually touching? Well, all of them. We're into marketing. We're into security. We need to check him out. Maybe have some strange past. We're into legal, financial, facilities, IT, HR. We're all over the place with one single request: onboard Steve. Okay? And that's fascinating, I think. These kind of processes can go super fast if you tear down the silo walls, and it can take a long time if you don't. So taking a look at this guy, where does he come from? So I mentioned ITIL. The reason I think that ITSM or within the IT silo has come so far is because of this amazing framework. Some might think that ITIL was, declining. I would say no, it's not. It's better than ever. 2019 version 4. Keep on updating it. Keep on being the foundation as a framework when you design IT service management processes. There are other frameworks as well, of course, but that is a fundamental reason why I think ITSM has come further when it comes to customer services, automation, portals, data management, and stuff like that, which I will mention in a few. When we take a look at how to improve service management, this is something that Atlassian is also telling the story about, trying to decrease the support cost of every service provided. Once we're forced to correct things later in the process, it costs much more, and that's obvious. So that's why we want to do the shift left exercise. We're moving on now to zero-level support. Previous speakers showed how Confluence is used as a knowledge base article and stuff like that. That's perfect. That's great. Give the power to the user. Give the information, give the data to the user. So he can make up his own mind if I really need to create a support ticket or a service request. And if I do, what do I need? This is a slide I borrowed from Atlassian. This is their approach to service management. It should be customer focused, check. Knowledge centric, shift left, check. Streamlined with automation and great service offering, check. I totally agree with this. How do we accomplish that in a more complex environment? Let's take this one. This is the final slide I borrowed from Atlassian, I think. We're talking, and this is also Forrester research, by the way. They researched where time is mostly consumed in an incident workflow. It's within the mean time to diagnose phase. It's 70% of time it takes there, right? Why is that? Anyone? Why does it take 70% of the time on trying to investigate and diagnose an incident? What does that tell us? Sure?
Missing or too less context.
Missing context, yeah. Maybe also missing know where to turn to, who to talk to, stuff like that. You get stuck. You need to investigate deeper, maybe more than you actually needed. Anyone else? Yes. To repeat to you guys, it's all about communication. To have this ping pong match with different parties to communicate to get progress of the ticket, right? The study showed that IT teams find it difficult to collaborate and share valuable insights to quickly find a solution. Okay. But does this only apply for IT teams? Or only IT services? No, it doesn't. So let's treat it as a bigger problem. Effective services depends on accurate and complete data and information. Without that, you're stuck in a loop, trying to investigate way too much than you actually need. The known information that we have is the one we see right in front of us, and the unknown, in this case, is what's under the surface. How important is the unknown information? If you ask this guy, it's pretty important, right? Okay. This is one of the main reasons why we created Insight, the Insight platform. I want to help this guy to not sink. Harvard Business Review did a study on bad quality data or missing data back in 2016. It showed that the US economy is hit by $3.1 trillion per year in bad quality data or missing data. That's a lot of dollars per year. And that's due to exactly what you mentioned back there, these hidden data factories. You keep on running around trying to find information. Department A completes its work, hand it over to Department B. Department B adds it to the mix, delivers to customers. Customers, Department B, There's a lot of things going on here, which is difficult. As long as there is more than one party, even if it's only one party, but as long as it's more than one party involved in this factory, things are sliding. Let's talk about Jira some. So Jira is an amazing tool. We use it for everything, almost. But I want to make a little bit of a distinction here. So Jira is amazing when it comes to creating or defining those request types with a lot of custom fields, workflows, fantastic workflow engine. We can design or adhere to your business processes. That contains issue information. I call it issue information. All the information that your users are adding to the issue itself. What about deep data? What about other kind of data that is not an attribute of an issue? That's why we built Insight. To be able to enrich the context of each and every one of those issues with unlimited possibilities when it comes to data. So any kind of information structure, any kind of data structure can be built up and created in Insight and enabled to be used together with the Jira issue, which gives you a completely other depth of context. We saw a great example of you guys earlier on stage here when you played with phones and ordering system and request system. That's a perfect example of, a rather small example, but a good example of how it can look. So I would say that we provide the asset data and dependencies under the surface that connects to the ticket information. And why? What does it result in? It results in a faster time to resolution for the agents. The customer or the end users can themselves supply as much knowledge about the data that they have as possible already in the creation step. No more running around. If I know that it's exactly that bottle in that can that I want to mention to you, I can pick that one because it's available already in the submit form, which makes the agent super fast. He knows exactly what bottle it is. Okay. A few words on asset management. We call it asset management. Asset management can mean a lot of stuff depending on where you're from. Are you from the financial industry? A financial asset is something else, that are facility assets and stuff. But think of it as an overall context. What it is a database inside of Jira because we saw the marriage. When we take a look at Jira, how that works, why not build it inside of Jira? There are other solutions out there that are external, but we built it inside of Jira, enabling customers or users to be in context when they work with these business critical things. Dependencies, hierarchies, inheritance, a lot of stuff. And we're actually now about to release a very powerful reporting framework. It's coming out in 2 weeks, which is way better than our first one. Just want to mention to you, if you're interested in reading more, this is us on Marketplace. 2 paid apps, network scanning. It can sweep your entire network, get all the information on hardware and software and versions and licenses and everything directly into Insight, which means it's available in Jira. You can see when your license expires, or if you're overdue, if you're incompliant and stuff like that. And we have a bunch of free integration apps, which means that we can get you integrated with Google, Amazon, Azure, ServiceNow, or whatever. We also have an open API and other stuff. But I want to do a product announcement today. I can't resist, since there are great people here. There's 2. I don't like empty spaces. It doesn't look good. Who on earth built this slide? So actually, up for approval today is the National Vulnerability Database integration. Anyone knows what that is? Nobody. I was like, okay. I was like, ah! No. So this NIST.gov US. So in US, they have this system which identifies vulnerabilities and breaches in software and publish that on a site, which means that it's available for your organizations to understand it's not a good idea to have this version of this software due to vulnerability. We have built an integration which will import all the information from NVD directly into Insight, which means that if you have this guy with all your infrastructure in Insight, and you have this guy telling you how well is your infrastructure, and then you have this structure and Jira on top of that, you can fire off Jira tickets, notifications on any vulnerability or any data breach that you might have in your software. It's just one way of offering data management in the Jira context. Really looking forward to how this goes. Okay. So, how do Insight enable enterprise service management? I can stand here for hours talking about this. I will probably bore you. Let's talk about customers. What do they actually do? Okay. We can take the MX1, for example, a global media provider which per day distributes 3,200 TV channels and a lot of assets to their customer base. These guys took a look at Jira and Insight platform to manage it as a service catalog. So over 100,000 objects in their service catalog, all from satellite services, other services that they provide. They need to track the SLA of each and every business service. How good are we in providing this service? How fast are we? How many problems have we had with this service? They do that in this platform. Take these guys. I won't mention the name, but it's one massive beer brewery company, the biggest one in the world. They took a look at the Insight and replaced HP Service Center for Insight to manage very complex data structures inside of Jira. They have over 1 million objects and growing as we speak. They're using Insight as a CMDB, configuration management database, to store all the CIs. And they do a lot of recurring imports from external systems, because that's why we have all the importers. So you can import data from external systems. You can coexist for what you have. And one of my favorites, the Peabody Institute, Johns Hopkins. It's a huge, it's a big training or university that enables artists to provide their art to the public. So they have a lot of faculties with equipment, with music equipment and stuff like that. This is their Jira Service Desk, connected with Insight. Concert operations. Some permissions to record video, live streams and stuff. Request piano maintenance or ongoing piano repairs. What is this guy on stage saying? Pianos? I thought we should talk about servers or phones. No, we're talking about pianos. All right. So, pianos. This is the submit screen. We request a piano maintenance. The piano is broken. Something is wrong with the piano. I can't play. It doesn't sound good. Maybe it's me or the piano. I don't know, but it doesn't sound good. You can go in the Jira Service Desk. You can request different maintenance types. And down here, you can let the agent know where is actually the piano located. They have a lot of different states, cities, faculties. We need to know where the piano is. Otherwise, we will end up in this hidden data factory. Where is the piano? All right? Insight has total control over each and every piano. Where it is, which brand it is, which part it contains of, and so on. This is how it looks. So they have 249 pianos in different facilities with different manufacturers worth millions of US dollars. This is how they track their piano maintenance. This is Insight, by the way, for you who hasn't seen it. They're about to also start using it for the parts, the piano parts, to manage each and every single item and map that to the right piano type. This is data modeling. And I cannot emphasize enough, when it comes to designing ESM, Enterprise Service Management, you need to do your data modeling before creating large structures. Understand how data fits together, otherwise it can or will be messy. Okay? You can do it in the tool. We provide you with a way of modeling on a higher level, but it requires a workshop or two to understand how to work with your data. But once you have it, it's super easy to import it, to get these kind of structures. Okay. We have, I can stand for hours talk about more customer stories. We have hospitals running this kind of platform to manage all the hospital beds. You know, a hospital bed these days are full of electronics and intelligence and applications and stuff. What do we have more? Some other funny stories. Do we have? Yeah. We got within. I think we have a large. What do you call them? Company that owns a lot of ski resorts to manage the maintenance of all these cabins, the ski cabins, maintenance of those, how to switch a light bulb or to change the sanitation vendor and stuff like that. Everything is stored in there. So when an agent goes out to fix a broken door in one of the cabins, he goes into Insight and says, okay, this is the door, this is the facility, okay, fixed, done. Nothing to do with IT. It's physical services. We're now tapping into facility management. Tons of companies and ourselves are using this for onboarding within HR. So HR, facilities. We have huge companies working with GDPR, that is, you know, the data subjects of an individual are stored in Insight, and you can track where they have a PI presence in other systems. Did I get you interested when I said GDPR? I'm in Germany, right? Just kidding. No, but what I just want to say is that what we provide is a limit. We try to not put boundaries on the system. We try not to. This is not an ITSM tool. It's not only for Jira Service Desk. No. It's for your data connected to whatever business process you're running. So the value you can get out of your Atlassian acquisition that you've done, you have paid for it, right? You paid good dollars for Jira and Confluence and Bitbucket and so on. Add this to the mix and you can unleash a whole new possibility to work with the foundational data of your business. Okay. Another one, CERN, for instance, CERN, probably. They have this huge service catalog. This is online. You can just Google CERN service catalog. You can see it for yourself. If you expand each and every section here, you will see that they have hundreds of services that they're offering their customers or their end users. How could that work without accurate tools and data modeling behind it? It's going to be hard. It's going to be maybe a glossy, nice-looking entry point, but at the end of the day, it's only emails. That's the worst case, right? But hopefully, this is not us. We have not been with them. I just found their nice-looking service catalog online. Hopefully, you can only hope that they have, done a lot of work regarding data modeling and enable those different services to talk to each other via the data. Because it's also cross silos. All right? Okay. I want to wrap things up. I've been standing here for, I think, a while. When we talk about ESM, just to sum up how I see it. So Jira is the perfect place to offer what I call a service store, the portal. It can be JSD, but it doesn't need to be. This is available in Jira Core and Jira Service Desk as well, right? Where you can publish different requests. It's nice looking in JSD, but the actual issue types are already there, right? So that's what Jira can provide, and the process framework. The workflow engine, the workflow framework, that we build our business processes in Jira on. But we also need the data engine. Otherwise than that, we will have I would say a flatter data structure and a flatter intelligence. But it's still not enough. Because we need to connect this to external data sources as well. There is no nirvana where there are no external data sources. It should be. Of course, you need different providers that is perfect for certain specific reasons, but you need to accumulate and consolidate that data here to make the process here much, much faster, to decrease mean time to resolution for each and every process that you build in Jira. So that's what we're aiming for, and we saw examples here. We have some customers here in the audience today. I would say that if we take a look at our geographical presence, Germany is one of our favorite countries. Germans like us, like our products. It's popular. US is a good market as well, but Germany is a really good market where this understanding and this management of data is really appreciated. So, what did you learn today from my speech? Anything? Nah. We talked about ESM, what it is, the importance of data and data modeling when it comes to ESM. Please put some heart into the modeling. How others do ESM, and if you want to know more, I will be here the entire evening. I can tell you a lot of stories. I have my demo environment with you. I will show you. I was sitting back then earlier. I saw that the demo here is not doing you any good back there, right? It's hard. Otherwise, I can fire up a demo if you want to, but it's kind of hard to see in the back. I also told a little bit about how Jira and Insight is a marriage made in heaven when it comes to enable ESM and to empower all services with a lot of more intelligence, a lot of more data. Yeah, that's. I think that's my cue. Oh yeah, if you want to know more, we have this Insight Innovation Days. It's like our summit in Stockholm. So talk to your managers, or if you're a manager yourself, book it directly. It's in the beautiful Stockholm at the best time of the year. 2 days, 1 day full of training, the second day full of amazing customer stories. Where we have one of our customers, VMware from US, is flying over to tell how they succeeded in replacing a huge ServiceNow instance with Insight and Jira. It's going to be a really interesting couple of days, so I really hope to see you there. Okay, that's it. Any questions or?
So what is your vision to keep track of your assets you have on the cloud? For example, AWS, GCP, Azure, because I tried your discovery tools and I have to say I think they are quite old-fashioned because no one today is migrating his servers and stuff like it was before in the data center. You have auto-scaling groups, you have a lot of stuff which works completely different there, and I'm struggling to create a data concept that works and a discovery method.
Okay. I'll love to talk more details about discovery and the importers we have for all the platforms you mentioned. But you said cloud, and I just want to let you know also that in 2 weeks' time we're releasing Insight for Jira Cloud as well. It's on-prem today, so it's going to be available on Jira Cloud. When it comes to cloud providers, like AWS, Azure, Google, and stuff like that, we have the importers that can import that data inside of Insight. The discovery tool that we have is built to sniff local networks, right? We actually, this is a funny thing, we deployed our discovery scanner on AWS once. What it does is that it runs around the network knocking a lot of doors, wanting to get in. How do you think AWS think that is? Yeah, so we have importers for getting the data out of the cloud providers and into Insight. Okay.
Yeah, and I tried them, and I still think it is not. It's not adopting the way you are working in AWS, for example, because you use CloudFormation templates, auto-scaling groups. Every query against AWS is costing you money, and I don't want. So the benefit of a CMDB is to have data which is up to date.
Absolutely.
And I'm not sure how to ensure, because it will create, for example, a new instance of my web application because the load is high, and 5 minutes later, AWS is just putting it into the trash. Yeah. And that's something I'm not sure how to model it in Insight, because I tried it already, and yeah.
I'll love to take that off this session. We can take it further. I can connect you with our discovery experts as well to help you get going with that, definitely. Thanks for sharing.
Yeah. Sounds perfect for one-on-one situation. Sorry.
Maybe a nasty strategic question. Obviously, having the ability to have an asset database is a key core missing feature of Jira alone. No doubt about it, and that's what's missing if you compete against, let's say, ServiceNow or Salesforce as a typical. Why doesn't Atlassian develop it itself? And do you see any tendencies that they could develop their own or take this over? Because for me, that's core to that what Atlassian will want to offer sooner or later.
Well, I can't answer for Atlassian.
Understood.
But, yeah. No, but what we saw back 5-6 years ago was this need to complete the suite of Atlassian, and we've been putting our hearts into it, and this is where we end up, and we're going to continue to grow as much as we possibly can. We have amazing features coming out in the following year, so we're going to do what we can to provide the best service to you guys in this field, and then it's up to Atlassian to, you know, we work tightly together with it in marketing and messaging as well, because if you download the ITSM Mean Machine white paper from Atlassian, you can see how we are also mentioned and how we work together in that, because it's a good fit within ITSM to, as you say, have a CMDB and have the fantastic power of Jira itself.
Question here.
Yeah, connecting question. At the last summit, Atlassian showed these asset management APIs that they will put into Jira. So how close are you in contact or co-creating these APIs so that Insight has the best experience in Jira coming?
Yeah, good question. So yeah, last summit, they announced it in October, I think, or September at the summit. That was regarding JSD Cloud, so Jira Services Cloud, this asset management framework or API, the possibility for external systems, not only us, external CMDB systems to connect to Jira Service Desk Cloud to show the contents of their CMDB in fields and stuff like that. We've been working very tightly with Atlassian on this, so that's why I'm so happy to say that we're now releasing it at Summit for the cloud, and we're building, so you will have access to Insight from within Jira Cloud, while others might only build an integration to a third-party system, right? So we've been involved in that, but you know, it's cloud. We have stated that we cannot provide the full rich functionality of the on-prem server version of Insight in cloud, not in Atlassian Cloud at least. and that's due to limitations that we can't control. We've been doing the best we possibly can given the circumstances that we come up with together with Atlassian. Okay.
You have any more questions? So, thank you very much for your talk.
Thank you.